Hello, my name's Carl, I'm 2 Echo 0 Echo Zulu Tango, and in this video I want to talk about how CB radio provides a great first step into the radio hobby, and also as licensed operators we should be working to destigmatising CB radio. So I'll just head back to the car where it's less windy. Well, hopefully that's a bit better. It's super windy today up here. I've just driven to some high ground. It's only about 20 minutes from where I live. You've seen this in previous videos. It's where I tend to, if I want to get out for an hour and just put up a quick antenna or even use what's on the roof, I'll drive to here. It provides a nice bit of takeoff. It's a decent bit of takeoff. So what I wanted to do is just talk a little bit about the CB radio hobby, and really I know that you can go onto any amateur radio or ham radio forum and you'll see a bun fight between people who are supporters of CB radio and those who are not supportive of CB radio. But really, in an age where the radio hobby has huge challenges from many sides for a lot of younger people, and if we don't actually find ways of encouraging people to get into the hobby, the numbers may get smaller and smaller and smaller. And one of the things that we were discussing with the YouTube YouTube crew, and you've probably seen a video from the YouTube crew. Are we called the crew or bunch? I can't remember. And you'll see that we actually talk a little bit about CB radio as a first step into amateur radio. And I think that we ought to, as licensed operators, remember where a lot of us came from. And that was, for me especially, 30 odd years ago, I was into CB radio. And then I sold the radios and bought a guitar. And that didn't really go down very well. So 30 years later, still broke, so I bought the radios back. But this time I've got a license, I'm into amateur radio. So predominantly I operate amateur radio. Every now and again I'll jump onto the CB FM and see who's about. Now luckily in the Stoke-on-Trent area we've got a very good bunch of operators who operate on channel 25. So not channel 19. There's channel 25 is where you can usually go on. There's usually somebody hanging around, and you can usually have a chat. I tend to do a lot of listening than chatting, but they are a very good bunch. I think they're called the Stoke-on-Trent and Cheshire CB group. They've got a Facebook page, which I'll find the link for, and they're very welcoming. And they're a very good bunch of operators. So if you live in an area that's got a pretty good supportive CB community, then as a licensed operator it's good to be aware of that, and even have a connection with that, because there's going to be people in that community that will want to come across into the amateur radio world. And I think we should encourage that, because citizens band radio is a very easy first step, because the equipment can be bought quite cheap. Well, it's windy, I'm turning on the side. The equipment can be bought relatively cheap, and if you don't like the hobby, then you just sell that on eBay or Facebook. So really it's a disposable entry level to amateur radio. So let's just sit back down again. So what I'm going to do is just going to show you what I've got in the car that I tend to leave in the car. I don't use it that often, but every now and again I might switch the radio on. I'm going to show you the CB radio I've got in the car. Right, hopefully the light is okay in the car. So I think it was last year I thought I would buy myself a small CB radio just to put in the car, mainly because on 2 meters, I had a 2 meter radio in the car, but we had somebody on the call-in channel that was completely obliterated it. You could not use the call-in channel on 2 meters. It was awful. The swearing, the ranting, and it pretty much ruined 2 meters for me. so I took 2 meters out of the car. I did try using a hotspot, but for me that's just not radio. It's just my personal taste. So I thought, okay, I'll buy myself a little radio. I'll just get it out for you. It's a little bit small, but once you get into the hand, it feels quite nice. So this is what I've got. Let me just get this power sorted. It's a little it's called a President Bill. And so it's a lovely little radio. I think it's only about 4 watts. So it's very small output. Obviously, I use this as a citizens band user rather than an amateur radio user. So I don't pretend that I'm a licensed operator on this. But it's a lovely little radio. It slots quite nicely in between the seat and the central pillar in the car, and it's pretty easy to operate. So from here, I can just I can scan through the channels or just leave it on channel 25. So and I've got a little Wilson on the roof of the car, so that does me really for a CB. And as you can hear already, there's somebody on channel 25. I'll see if I can make contact with anybody. So my handle, I have to try and remember the terminology. My handle used to be Roadrunner. I had a lack of imagination thinking in the 80s, so I was the Roadrunner. But apparently, there's somebody else called Roadrunner now on CB, which I was mightily offended. I thought I owned the copyright to that, but so I really struggled to know what to call myself on the radio. Some people they always go like, "Okay, Carl, what's your handle?" It's Carl. No, what's your handle? Okay, so I might call myself old Roadrunner, Roadrunner retired, Road Walker, Road Slug. I'll think of something equally witty.
If you get Whirlwind to shout, I'm sure you'll be able to get you a bit better than me.
Yeah, Whirlwind. It's Carl at Static Mobile.
No, I'll leave it with you, Darren, Lodgy. Alright, okay. Yeah, Brian, are you getting Carl? I can tell he's there.
Because I'm only using...
Making the squelch button. No, I can't.
Yeah, I'm only using about 4 watts.
Yeah, Carl. I think you said it was Carl. Yeah, you're breaking the... I mean, I can hear you. The other people on here, unfortunately, can't hear you very well. I can hear you. I'm up near Windmill Hill, near here. But I'm not getting a very clear audio from you.
Yeah, Roger. Okay then, mate. It's I'm only using 4 watts into a little Wilson on top of the car, so I'm just making the short distance, but not very well. I'm just wondering if you can hear me any better.
Yeah, I heard you say something about 4 watts there, but I really couldn't hold a good conversation to you. Apologies there. I mean, I'm not getting you very well here, I'm afraid. I won't get you about a signal 3, about a radio 2 to 3.
Okay.
Probably the conditions, could just be that you're not on my good side, as you were. But I'm not going to be able to hold it with you there, I'm afraid.
Yeah, no worries, buddy. No worries. It's good to at least give it a try anyway. Hope you have a good day, and I'll catch you soon.
Yeah, take care. Well, maybe we'll try again another day and get a better copy. So 7 3s there, mate. Catch you later.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Yeah, see you later. Bye-bye to us on the channel. Okay, so yeah, because I've only got a small radio relay. That's just, getting distance on it can be a bit of a problem. But I felt that conversation was pretty fine, really. If I was a new operator, I wouldn't have a problem trying to make contacts, and you get people, respectfully giving it a try, So yeah, no, I thought that worked quite well. It's a lovely sound. It's a lovely sounding radio, anyway. The President Bell. I'm just going to have a scan around the band. And then what I will do, this also does the EU channel, so that was the UK channels. What I'm going to do now is just going to see what sort of activity I can pick up. So it's going to flick up and down the, well, just going to scan through the channels, and we'll see what's what is actually happening on the radio at the moment. Channel 19. So 19 is a bit of chaos. I tend to avoid 19. Go to the next one. So a lot of people use predominantly amateur radio language, and I guess that's because a lot of people in CB also have a license, and there's a crossover with the language they use. It works. There's a reason why we use amateur radio language in amateur radio, is because it works as part of that communication. So it does go across into CB. And like I say, I think it's a great way to encourage people to try radio out without having to go through the licensing, to make sure it's a hobby for them. And then if they do want to progress like I did and move on to amateur radio, which is far broader and a much bigger spectrum of frequencies to use and modes, and the community is is much more focused on the engineering side of it and the technology side. It's a natural progression. We should actually go, do you know what, at least you're doing radio, and and move upwards. So I hope that what I've tried to do in this video is not to start a bun fight between traditional ham radio people, CB users. I'm not here for doing that. So I want to just get your thoughts on how you see CB radio as part of the radio hobby, and if you feel that it's a good first step. And and also I'm quite interested in hearing how other people have worked towards destigmatizing CB, so that it can be something seen, especially for a younger audience, something that can be seen as a way of actually enjoying using radio communications. So if you like the video, can you hit the like button, please? If you enjoy the channel and haven't subscribed yet, can you hit that subscribe button? That really helps me to understand if the channel's working for you. And please share the videos, please tell other people about the channel. That really helps me as well. If you've got people that are thinking about amateur radio and are maybe just not quite sure what's in it for them, if you share my channel, share some of the videos, I'm hoping some of the videos will help others to get into the hobby. So I look forward to the next video. Bye bye for now.